SmackDown was in Uncasville, Connecticut tonight, if that's how you pronounce it. Not too far from Stamford, Connecticut, which is where WWE's headquarters is, and that's not where they will be for very much longer, as they're going to move in 2 years. They haven't announced the location, but I would think probably Florida makes the most sense, but I don't know if it's going to be another place in Connecticut. Anyway, we start with the New Day, and I'm thinking to myself, all right, if Vince McMahon does another fucking gauntlet match, and then he screws Kofi at the end of the show, I'm done. And what does Vince McMahon do? He announces another gauntlet match. This one's a bit different. So we start off with the New Day. They're not playing the race card. Biggie really teased it last week when he posted that video online that he was going to play the race card. And Xavier did it too. They never said that, but they strongly alluded to it. And if you read between the lines, that's where they were hinting, but not actually going in. They were like tiptoeing around, and this is what they're going to keep doing. You're not going to have that storyline in 2019 in the WWE. You're not going to have it with all their sponsors. I'm sure Mattel is shitting themselves even thinking about that. They don't want that kind of controversy, so they're just not going to have that a part of their product. It's not going to be like Triple H and Booker T from WrestleMania 19, the build to that, which was like all racist. But here, New Day is out. They call out Vince. Vince comes out, and he is about to do it again. He's going to explain to them why they're not getting pushed. And then Daniel Bryan comes out. Daniel Bryan's being annoying. And Vince McMahon, he gets mad at Daniel Bryan. The New Day goes after Daniel Bryan and ripping into him. Vince gets really annoyed. Then he announces that Kofi does not get another chance to prove that he is going to earn his way to the title match. Instead, he announces another gauntlet match. It's going to be Biggie and Xavier in a tag team gauntlet match. And if they win, Kofi gets the title shot. My God. So I'm thinking with Biggie and Xavier, I don't think they're going to get a match at WrestleMania. I don't think they want one. I think they'd rather just be with Kofi, accompany him to the ring and see him win the title and celebrate with him than get their own title, get their own match. I think they'd be fine with that, just celebrating with Kofi, because they're not going to have there's no spot for them, unfortunately, on the show. There's just none. So we go to the backstage interview, and we have Sarah Screeber. This is after they do the whole thing when they announce Raw's going to be, the Raw Women's title is going to be in the main event. Sarah Screeber is now on SmackDown. I guess she was always on NXT, but I don't know where they have Kayla Braxton or Kathy Kelly. I think she does all the stuff on their YouTube channel and stuff like that, but they have so many of them. Charlie Caruso. They have Sarah interview Becky, and she's a little nervous, but Becky is cutting a decent promo, rips into Ronda, and she says Charlotte doesn't deserve it. Charlotte comes out right away, and she says she's going to show how deserving she is, and when she gets to the ring, she's facing Asuka for the SmackDown Women's title. Asuka comes out, and boom, title match. Here we go, a rematch from last year's WrestleMania. SmackDown Women's title on the line. Right when they announced this, I'm thinking to myself, Charlotte's going to be the champ so they can have both titles in the main event at WrestleMania. That's exactly what I thought. And the match they have here is very good. Not as good as the match they had at Mania, but they don't have as much time. They go through a commercial break. They're having a lot of escapes. Asuka escapes the figure eight a whole bunch of times. Charlotte escapes the Asuka lock a couple of times. They're having a cool sequence in which Asuka gets Charlotte in the triangle look pretty good, but Charlotte's able to escape, and she puts her in the figure eight, and just like WrestleMania, Asuka taps. I was thinking, do you have to tap out Asuka? Asuka's done, but this was for the greater good. But I feel like with Asuka, you could at least had a natural selection finish. Did you have to have Asuka tap out yet again to Charlotte? Charlotte's destroyed Asuka. Charlotte's now the SmackDown Women's Champion, got a new champ. This sets it up. Main event, it's a huge main event now. You have the Raw Women's title and the SmackDown Women's title in the main event. Hopefully Becky Lynch gets to win both. One thing I have a question is this match, they're going to still just be for the Raw Women's title? Because what they could do is have Becky win the match. She beats Ronda, but Becky's the Raw Women's champion, and because the SmackDown Women's title is on the line, Charlotte keeps the belt. I don't know how they're going to go around that, but that could be a place where they go. I'm not sure completely, but it looks like, if I were to make a prediction, I think both titles will be on the line. And they could go different ways with this. I think Becky is a huge favorite now because she's the only one without the title. I'd be shocked if she doesn't get both titles. I think it's set up to give Becky the two women's titles, but we don't know. They could do is if Becky wins the title at WrestleMania, she can easily just be on Raw and SmackDown. On Raw, she defends the Raw Women's title. On SmackDown, she defends the SmackDown Women's title. They can easily do that. I don't think you have to unify the belts or anything like that. I think you can just have her as a double champion defend both titles. Kurt Angle comes out when Charlotte was on the ramp. She's the new champ. And he applauds her. He heads to the ring. He's facing AJ Styles. So they shake hands in the middle of the ring. This is like their meeting. They can't mention TNA, but another TNA great that Angle feuded with. I guess it's a cool way for him to recap his career. On the same week, he faces Samoa Joe on Raw, and then he faces AJ Styles on SmackDown. And Kurt's so bad. I mean, he's really slow. There's no doubt about it. He cannot go anymore. He needs to retire, and I'm happy he is. But they don't have much of a match. Orton comes out, hits an RKO. Then Kurt Angle comes, and he hits a horrible Olympic slam on Randy Orton. It did not look good. And that's it. That's the end of the segment. Angle just looks disappointed. We don't get to see him wrestle AJ. That's it. That was it. Like, it was a DQ. It sucked. They go to Rey Mysterio and Dominic backstage. It's a good promo. I mean, they're going to do something with Dominic. What I would like to see, because Dominic's old enough, he's been training for a while. This is perfect. What WWE needs to do, Samoa Joe chokes Dominic unconscious. Do it on SmackDown on the Go Home show next week. A big segment, he chokes Dominic unconscious, gets a whole bunch of heat. That's what they need to do. The Miz comes out. He cuts a promo on Shane, and then Shane comes out with this whole army of security, and they finally found the role for Sanity. One of his biggest security guards is Sanity, and he's also being, he has one of the Primo or Epico. I don't know how they're still in play, but one of them is there, and Shelton Benjamin is there, who I'm sure is thrilled to be doing nothing. All of them are at ringside, and they have like real security guards, 5 real security guards, and Shane puts the Miz's father's face on the Titantron. He rips into his father. He mocks him. Miz is furious. Shane continues to rip into the Miz's dad, and then they have the Miz, someone who's not a tough guy, beat up security guards. I'm thinking to myself, this is bullshit. The Miz would get his ass kicked by any real security guard can kick the Miz's ass. He destroys 5 security guards, then he completely destroys Shelton. He destroys Primo or Epico. I don't even know which one it was. And then he destroys Sanity. He destroys Kellyanne Dane, who could be a star, but he's doing nothing. He's unhappy. Destroys Eric Young. Destroys Alexander Wolf. They didn't have Nikki Cross, but Sanity is just dead, man. It sucks. He demolishes him. It looks like Shane went off. Miz kills everyone. They're trying to make him look like a badass. I get it, but at the same time, really, that's all they can get for him. That's it. The Miz stands tall, and they're setting up the match for WrestleMania. They have a promo with Peyton Royce and Billie Kay. It's one of those backstage promos. They're saying they're gonna win the titles. I feel bad for all the other women. There was supposed to be a Fatal 4-Way match, so it's obvious WWE changed its mind. They were gonna do a Fatal 4-Way match, and the winner was gonna face Asuka. It was gonna be Carmella against Naomi, against Mandy Rose, against Sonya Deville. What I think they're gonna do now is just put them all in the WrestleMania Battle Royal. They're gonna do that 2 years in a row. They have something for all the women, I guess. Naomi didn't look too happy on Twitter. Neither did Sonya. Carmella, I don't think, it really sucks, but they're just going to be relegated back to the pre-show. Next, main event. So we get the gauntlet match. Here we go. Okay. So they start off, Big E and Xavier come out. They beat Gallows and Anderson. They beat Rusev and Nakamura. And I hate these gauntlet matches. I'm so sick of seeing them. I'm already done with them. I don't need to see it. After they beat Sheamus and Cesaro, then they take on the Usos, renewing that rivalry. What happens is the Usos look like they're about to fight. The Usos shockingly forfeit. They forfeit. And they show Daniel Bryan and Eric Rowan furious. They can't believe it. And then Bryan and Rowan are on the outside. Bryan's he's near the barricade, and Rowan gets thrown over the announcer's table. And Big E, showing his strength, flips the announcer table over onto Eric Rowan. And him and Xavier get back in the ring, and they're counted out, and that's it. That's how they win. It's official. The New Day wins it. Big E and Xavier send Kofi to WrestleMania. Kofi celebrates. They're happy. And then We're expecting Vince McMahon's music to hit. We don't see it. Instead, we go backstage. We show Kayla Braxton interviewing Vince McMahon as he's about to get into his limo. She asks him, is Kofi going to WrestleMania? He says yes. He makes another snarky remark. He says, can a B-plus player beat Daniel Bryan? That's how the show ends. Vince gets in his limo, and then they go back to the arena. Then they are celebrating, and they have all the baby faces come out, including Becky Lynch. All the baby faces on SmackDown celebrate with the New Day. They're on the outside. They clap the ring. It's a great moment. Kofi is officially going to WrestleMania, and he will face Daniel Bryan for the WWE Championship.